Hello, welcome back. I'm going to continue to talk about the book King Paimon, The Lord of the Endless Silence, The Lord of the Abyss. It is my published book on Amazon, and you can buy it online if you're interested in. Mainly the thematic has been, about King Paimon, about the book, and the emotions or the process of writing the book, and the different visions and the different insights that I have received regarding Paimon, regarding this book, which has been a very, very beautiful experience to write it, and necessarily to talk about it, of course. It is like a delight for me to talk about Paimon in general, or to talk about the book, King Paimon. And I am the author, Anais Giulia. If you're interested to buy the book, you can find it on Amazon internationally. And it is a very large book, 745 pages. It is a grimoire. It is written in a hymn form. For those who know who Paimon is, or are in this thematic and necessarily, connected to spirituality, or higher dimensions, or lower dimensions, or things that, are not seen but felt, or things that are felt and sometimes seen, but there is not a physical proof to it. Almost to say, well, my book, it is a physical proof that Paimon is real and Paimon does exist. It is, a book that changes perception. It's a book that changes how we look at the world, or how we see each other, or how we feel towards each other as well. There's always has been a delight for me in a way to, at least for me personally, to open myself to more possibility. And in general, my personality is very much accepting. I tend to say, well, I believe many things do exist, even if we are not able to see them necessarily in the normal, with our normal eyes. But if one goes deeper or higher, or goes left or right, or is wild and crazy enough to open a door that one doesn't know what finds, it is always a new experience. The same with the book. You open it and then it does change. It does give you something. Maybe you need it or not necessarily, but something that can open you up to new knowledge, or new insights, or new type of wisdom, or new type of enjoyment. It is always difficulty to talk about a large book or a large thematic as King Paimon is. That's why I do these recordings for me as well, or for others, where I can talk about the different things that I have learned from Paimon by writing the book, by getting to know him, and the different visions, and that the different things he did for me, or the different things I heard when he appeared in my life. It's almost to say, well, I'm sitting at home alone and I just mind my own business, and suddenly I hear music, or I hear some type of elements that I know that is Paimon. It's almost like, well, Paimon does pay visits. Paimon does come. And when he comes, it is a little unexpected, but it's always a positive and beautiful surprise. I always get very excited, And he carries different messages. Sometimes it's just enough his presence. It's not to say always, well, I need him, or I need things from Paimon. It's almost like a type of love, that you just by thinking of him, and just by imagining him to be there, or just by hearing things that I know deep within my soul that it is him. It is a deeper connection that I have with him from writing the book, and it has been a journey as well. Even before I wrote the book, I was reading about Paimon. I was finding information, and I like to study. I like to learn different, even ancient thematics, history, anything that has to do with the old ancient past. And somehow, through my love towards music, or through my interest, I have found Paimon, or Paimon has found me. There's always a question of who found each first. It doesn't matter. We found each other. There's always to say, I was at the right moment in the right time. Almost like I changed the time where I was waiting for him by playing my music. I imagined being in an old ancient temple, and I didn't expect to meet Paimon there, no? But Paimon appeared there, and he almost gave me the feeling that he was looking for me. And the moment he saw me at the temple playing the music, he stepped down from his dromedare, from his camel. It was like an ancient old village somewhere in the desert, and I remember a lot of details now, what time of day it was, how the sun was, how hot it was, how the wind came, who I've seen there, and almost to say, well, I was just playing my music, not bothering anyone, no? Also say, well, in reality I was in this time, in this year, just being at home, but in my mind, in my heart, I was playing music, and I was imagining being at the foot of this temple in ancient times, and then the vision of Paimon appeared. And before that, or sometimes think, well, after, it's almost like the pearl of time, one pearl, which pearl was before and which one was after, no? At the same time, I did study Paimon. I did try to find information about him, because the first information I got is that he's a demon, no? It's like, well, he is a demon. In the book of King of Solomon, he is one of the 72 demons. And of course, I study what demon, or what the word demon means now. At the same time, I found different information, ancient ones, from history, what one can say, well, Paimon is god Arzu from the Semitic religion, and he's king of West. Everything fits together as it should be, and I'm always eager to find new information about Paimon as well. In a way, we can call him a demon in the way of knowledge of the fact that he is eternal, what demon means for me. But to simply call it a demon and leave it there, it will be a very foolish act, because King Paimon is a king, and he's not a demon in that way as we imagine in our modern culture, what we think about demonology or what a demon means, or even people just use words, but rarely they know anything about it. And we can even say, well, King Solomon wrote a book, and he created a fiction or a novel or a book, the demonology or the different demons that he wrote in that book and described them. That was approximately in the 15th Jahrhundert, so 1,500 years ago, so quite long ago. But if one go even further in the past, to say back into the past, I have found King Paimon, because his representation is on a dromedare. I found God Arzu. It is a god. It is the sun god. He represents the sun, the sun, the king of the West, and he is a king. Anyway, this was for me interesting enough to want to write a book for King Paimon, almost to say in his honor, to say, well, I'm not going to leave King Paimon be called demon, only, say, well, he's, not that I have an issue with that word, not at all, but I would like people to study or understand more what it actually means. So I was almost to say, well, with that vision as well that I had at the market playing the music, I said, I want to write a book. I want to write a book. And that was my first, initiation, the first fire that sparked inside me. And I really wrote it with love, to give the honor of King Paimon, to give honor to him, to his name, and to try as much as possible to represent him in his true power, in his true dominion, and who he truly is. I did not want to create necessarily a fiction, because he's not a character, a fictional character for me. As I've said, I strongly believe King Paimon exists, and I would say I don't have proof, I don't have to have proof, it's enough for me to know that for me he is real and he does exist, and I will never take that away, from to say, well, it's just, I'm not going to downplay it, if I will do the other way around, of course. I always give high honor to Paimon, and I always send, and he knows now the love that I carry for him, and that's why the book is absolutely amazing, and it's such a special book for me. I have written 30 books, and they're all beautiful and different and so on, but King Paimon, this book, this grimoire is I would say extraordinary. It is my masterpiece. No, it's my almost like my mastermind. I connected with Paimon in such a way that almost like we wrote it together. We managed it together. He has been the one pushing me, the one revealing to me, the one whispering to me, the one who has listened to me in my silence, and has transformed me, in a very beautiful way. When I speak about Paimon appearing in that way, I have seen him in visions. Okay, I've seen him in photos. I have seen him in my visions. I never seen him in my dreams, even if he does show me many very beautiful things, and sometimes I like to keep those things only to myself, to be honest. But it's always very beautiful, magical. It's just like I will not say it's not hard to describe. It's just so touching. It's just so beautiful, and it all has a meaning. No, it's almost to say, well, he shows me something, and then it's up to me to enjoy it or just keep it the way it is, or if I would like to create a meaning towards it, or to learn from it, or there's something for me to understand. There's elevation that I have to go through. There's a knowledge that I didn't know yet. There's always this feeling with Paimon. There's always more. There's always, he doesn't stop to amaze me, and I really love that he shows me things without me asking. It's almost like something appears and I see it, I see it in my mind's eye. At the same time, it really appears in the reality, There are things that I do see in the reality. Well, if you say, well, I can see it. If I was to take a photo, maybe it will not be there because it's just for a few seconds. And then I concentrate on it. I can always go back to the vision. I can always go back to that memory, and then I can work on it, And he has taught me as well mirror magic, how to work with the mirror, because King Paimon is a magician. He is king, of course, and he is a magician of the West, a magician of the fire. And the mirror too is very much connected to all the elements that Paimon has, the desert, the sun, I would like to call him my Arabian king, my Arabian prince. And he has been a very supportive, very like a helping hand to me, very, very loving. At the same time, why I love Paimon so much is because of his knowledge, because of his wisdom. And another way I connected with him was listening to some meditation about Paimon, and it was a meditation where he was talking, and it was a language that I could not understand, but it captured me totally, and I wanted to translate what he was saying. I wanted to have a part of a piece of his knowledge, of his dominion, of his power, of his historical or anything, And I remember I was so amazed. It had nothing to do with ego, not at all. It was me just seeing him, I saw him on his throne in this black chamber, and all the elements. Of course, I was writing the book. He was helping me. He was giving me the elements, the symbolistic, the feeling, the atmospheric, the everything, that I need. Not to say, it was because of the fictional work I was doing, because as I said, I do see Paimon as real, and Paimon is real, And I've spoken in different recordings in this playlist about King Paimon, and now it's just a little bit more for me. Feel free to talk whatever I want, but sometimes I like to go after one point, and say, well, let's take the example with mirror magic. Let's do exercise, Let's see where our steps, what follows, one step after another, and where are we going to end? What type of insight or what are we going to learn new about Paimon or from Paimon in general? The book is, as I said, is a grimoire, of course, no, because we are talking about magic, something ancient, about time, about endless time, no. I want to say the Lord of the Abyss, the eternal silence. This is what Paimon represents. At the same time, he taught me that silence is not silent, that in the silence there is so much richness, there is so much truth, there is so much wisdom, there is so much knowledge, there is so much, almost say, well, the silence is not silence. The silence is not silent, it has whispers, and sometimes it has absolutely beautiful visions, and you know, almost when one sits in the silence with oneself, no, it's enough, no, to get creative, that mind is able to breathe, the mind, the heart, you know, you're able to connect, and you're able to just breathe, you know, and let go of the worldly things necessarily, you know, to say, well, this table is real, the TV is real, you know, if one is able to believe in something more, there is something more, of course, to it. And as I've said, the silence is not silent, not at all. So in that silence, one can hear, no? One can, you hear yourself, you hear your own soul speaking, you hear your, you know, your mind is giving you something very beautiful, no? It's almost like, I have done so much work, and now I'm going to take the reward in a beautiful way. I'm going to sit in the silence, and I'm going to let my inner wisdom, my inner knowledge, my inner feeling, you know, just take over me, you know, and not be only this physical body that has to go left and right and move and so on. One can really, really enjoy the inside of one, no? At the same time that inside comes out and creates something on the outside, no? There's a part of the mirror magic which can go even deeper, that Paimon always teaches, no? How to read oneself, how to know oneself, how to go deeper into oneself. What is real, no? And even to say, well, it is not real what I'm seeing, it is still something that I can enjoy, I can learn from, I can have some type of inspiration, some knowledge, some wisdom, you know. And it doesn't have to be so much about real, not real. You know, there are so many people who have so hard to accept anything beyond the material, and there's so much beyond the material that we should open ourselves, and we should, you know, be like explorers of things. We should not be afraid of trusting our own self, no? For whatever reason is. Even if I would not have written the book, it would have been still, and it is still a very beautiful experience for me, you know, for playing the music, or reading about Paimon, or reading about ancient history, or, you know, at the same time I am a writer, so of course it was perfect for me. I was like, well, I didn't even second guess. I said I will write it. I wrote it. I went through it. It took 3 months, and it was not easy, as I've said. Paimon is a strict teacher, and every little point, every little pause, even the way I had to write his name, the way the story went, the repetitions that he asked me to leave in the text, I have learned a new way to work on my books and to edit my books through Paimon. No? He has been very specific requirements, how he wanted his book to look, and how I have to write it, no? So I was very happy about that, because I wanted to be the good student. I wanted to create really a masterpiece in my heart, to make Paimon proud and to create something really beautiful, no? It was almost natural to me, to be honest, and I just accepted, and I went through the work, especially, you know, gathering the text, writing the text, and of course a lot has been on the hymn itself. The work has been to arrange the text in this hymn form. It is almost like a poem, no, that goes from first page. The poem is called Whispers of the Abyss, where Paimon starts talking, you know, the first line is already Paimon talking, and then there are different stories that go about the past, about Paimon, no? Paimon talking, he's teaching one how to be king, how to be in your power. He is teaching. Paimon is always teaching. If one understands Paimon, understands that Paimon is always teaching, okay? He is the one who carries the book, the one who has all the knowledge. So it is absolutely natural. It's absolutely extremely beautiful thing, no, that Paimon does, and I'm extremely extremely grateful to him. I always will be. And because this love connection between us is almost like, you know, the moments that I'm in the shower and I hear the music, there's a specific music that I hear, or sometimes I hear water dripping with music. There's a celebration, there's a joy in my heart knowing that he's coming or he's near, or, you know, I'm going to get some new ideas, or not necessarily, you know, it's just the joy of the moment. Sometimes I can lay in bed without doing nothing, just preparing to sleep, and he shows me something. Sometimes I sit on my couch, you know, alone, and a vision comes, and I just know it's from him. Now it's connected to Paimon, because I know the elements, the symbolistic, and all the things that Paimon carries, so I can recognize him. I think that's the reason why I'm doing these recordings, is to explain others, to say, well, who is Paimon? How can I recognize Paimon? What Paimon is doing? What he's teaching? What his dominion is? No, as much as I can. At the same time, he loves freedom. Paimon, I have free hand. I'm a true artist. Paimon is teaching one. No, I'm not going to change my mind just because left and right has said red, yellow, blue, and I know it's black, or I know it's white, or I want to make it green and I want to put blue, and maybe I change it and I will make it red. And you know, there's a lot of power in the freedom of choice, of course. And Paimon is giving this always. There's nothing that Paimon takes, but always gives. At the same time, I have spoken with some recordings that one should not be foolish. No one has to know how to approach King Paimon. It's not to say, you know, there's always a requirement that has to come to his name. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. And it is Paimon who chooses, who has the choice, of course, because he's free as well. No, so there is no confrontation or contradiction or no force into it. No, there's the beautiful element of life. Almost like a flower, no? There's this element of, well, maybe the flower is closed and we still don't know the color, but one day it will open and we will all see it, no? There's always the beauty of surprise, the beauty of not knowing. There's another thing that Paimon teaches. Knowledge doesn't mean that I know everything. Knowledge means that I am able to, you know, free myself from the limits, and I can go left and right, inside, deep, up, down, as I like, as I wish. I free myself from the constraint even of thoughts, no? The constraint of this physical world or physical body that tells me that this is only what I can touch is real, all the others are not. When I know. You know, there's I want to say, one has to know for himself. I cannot make you believe me. You have to know for yourself. This is how Paimon teaches. I'm not going to force my belief on you. It will be foolish of me. I will never force my belief on anyone. I will never. I just want my experience and my wish, you know, to be respected, because it is true to who I am, and no one has the right to say it is wrong. Why? Maybe it was exactly what I needed to see and feel and express for this book to happen, to be able to create it in material. No, sometimes we say, I put my hand out and there's nothing. There's only blackness. But in that moment I do it, and if I hold it, and if I'm searching for something and maybe I'm not letting go, no, there's something I can pull from it and I can create it in the physical form. That's something we all do, even if we don't acknowledge it in this way. No, it's like I have a creative thought, no, and then I'm doing it. It's almost like I'm pulling it from that abyss, from the darkness, because you say, well, it doesn't exist, it's not there, but I want it, no, and I can create it, and I take it and I do it, and then I have the physical proof. No, there's a connection between these two elements. At the same time, time, no, when we think about time, time is it expresses exactly this feeling, no? There is not necessarily a set time to say, well, the experience of time is very, very different. Now I feel like I'm talking since 8 minutes and it's 24 minutes already. So, you know, the way you say time flies or time is slower. At the same time, it is connected with Paimon, because he represents the endless time. To say time doesn't exist for Paimon, and it is true. It is true. Paimon knows he is eternal. He's not. It's almost like he's out of time. He is in time, of course, but he's out of the time. He's not in our time, but he's in his time. No, there's different elements to time. It's almost like something that coils. No, maybe it's an element of the snake, of the ancient time, the snake that I have seen in his chamber. In these moments where I receive the visions, it's not something that I create. It's almost like I'm simply standing in my reality and something is shown to me and I can describe it. And through these recordings, when I go back, I try to see what elements I have seen, what it means. While I've seen the black tiles, I have seen the throne, I have seen the robes, I have heard the water, I heard the song. I was standing at the door, there was no door. I saw, after, sometimes when I go back, I see new elements. I saw a black snake. Sometimes he shows me a little more what it means, what means the symbol of the snake. It was like a large water pythons connected to the water. And then when we talk about the different qualities and different elements and the symbolistic of Paimon, one sees that it is real because it's all connected. It is not something that I calculated mathematically to say, well, I'm going to trick you and I'm going to say, well, the snake fits to the water. It will be so foolish of me. No, I will be living a lie. I will be sitting here and tell you some lies. Actually not. I am the one who's seeking the truth, even by not knowing, and even at the danger to maybe say a little lie because, well, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm in the search of truth, and that's what counts. The intention counts, And why would you call me a liar when I'm seeking the truth? Why? So there's always the exercise with the mirror, It's like I have my own mirror, I am searching for something as well as you are searching for something. And if it's not the same thing, it doesn't have to be the same thing. That's the thing, At the same time, if one person has unlocked in themselves the love for knowledge or the love to expand in this lifetime, in one way or another, Paimon is your ticket. This is the book, Paimon is the one who opens those doors. He's the one who free us, from the limits of our own body or our own limits to believe only what is told to us. To be truly a believer is to be a seeker, and a seeker of knowledge or seeker of truth, or simply a seeker of enjoyment. It's not necessarily we don't need necessarily the big words to have the freedom to do whatever we want and to search for whatever we want and believe in the things we want. I believe in many things that many people don't believe they are real, but I give them the honor because I love them. I would say, well, maybe they don't live in this reality necessarily that I can see them, but I believe they are here, and I believe they have their own dimension, or they have their own world where they totally live, and they have almost like I see it in my fantasy. I will never say, well, they don't exist, this is not real, I say I will not take that away from them, because if I don't know, why should I say no when I can say yes? There's always the element of choice, of course. And I think many people choose no because it's easy. It's easy to say no. No, I don't believe. Because they don't have to seek, they don't have to do the work. But if I say yes, it's almost like, I wonder how it is there. I wonder how they live. I wonder what's possible. There's always room for possibility. There's always room for truth. There's always room for freedom. More of it. That's what Paimon teaches. Take more, not less. Be more, not less. Believe more, not less. Seek more, not less. Become more, not less. Take what is yours. Seek what is yours. Go after the things you believe in. Don't let yourself be stopped by no one's opinion, because their journey is not your journey. Your journey is your journey. Paimon teaches one how to love knowledge, how to love oneself, how to see himself or herself truly, fully, At the same time, the conquest is not my own. It's not to conquest myself. It is not for me to prove anything to anyone. There is a deeper and very, very beautiful meaning to everything that Paimon shows. And I will never stop in this life, or maybe any life, to seek the things that Paimon show me, to always gain a little bit more understanding, to always further on one step one little step. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be a jump. And sometimes, one has to be fierce and strong. And you say, well, if I have to jump over that abyss, if I have to take, not physically, not literally, but to have that courage to say, well, I will go, I will open the door, I will jump, I am brave like that. I am not scared. You say, well, let's talk about the abyss, let's talk about the endless silence, let's talk about the darkness. I'm not scared. And say, where? I will. And I will bring us something from there. I'm not going foolish, I'm not going blindfolded. And even if I'm blindfolded, I'm still able to see. There's a lot of power when one believes in that, and I want to say, surface oneself from the limits of their own prison, because that's what it is. Safety is sometimes some type of prison. You say, well, I don't believe it exists, I have no interest, I don't do anything, but I like to criticize others, to say, well, that's the thing, I do believe that Paimon teaches many, many things that has to do with power, has to do with dominion, has to do with conquering oneself or mastering oneself. Not be foolish, not be fooled, to be in your own power, in your own dominion. And the more you step towards that, I want to say, the more you step towards yourself as well. There's always a movement forward that goes back as well, important to say, well, if it's as for me, if I imagine a room which is dark and I just sit in it, there's nothing, it's just me. There's total darkness around me in that room, and I'm sitting down, my head down, and I'm meditating, There's a beauty to it. There's experience to it as well. Not to be fearful. Why not? Don't be fearful. Is what Paimon teaches. Be honorable. Give honor. Be respectful. Know your place. Know who you are. Say, well, I'm here and I seek knowledge, or I seek some type of help, or I seek. It doesn't have to be necessarily a reason. But it's a beautiful thing to sit in that silence or in the darkness and trust. There's a liberation with that. You just feel the hand of the divine. You just feel that love around you. Almost to say, well, I can make myself little. I can make myself almost non-important. Because I seek knowledge that is beyond me, beyond my physical form. So at the same time, there is a lot of beauty that comes with Paimon. There's colors, there's vision, there's geometrical forms, there's sound of music, the sound of water, the mirror, the sand, the fire, all connected, the eternal sun, the eternal child, the eternal life, the one who knows, the wisdom beyond words, the wisdom beyond time. There's always something extremely enlarged, is what Paimon teaches. So imagine if you feel that energy of what Paimon represents, how it transforms one, of course, because Paimon is the type of king who is not king by himself. He teaches everyone how to be king and queen. Say, well, here I am, and I'm large, and I am big, and I have wild dreams, and I can say whatever I want, and so it's almost like Paimon teaches one how to take and how to not be a slave, how to take, how to enlarge yourself, or even to make yourself little, at the same time strong inside. As I've said, the mirror always works on two focal points. At the same time as a lens, when you take a photograph, there's an action on one side and there's a result on the other side. It always mirrors it, they are connected. That's how Paimon is. It's always like, well, the left is red, the right is yellow, but there's a connection between these two colors. So, well, wow, red is not connected to yellow. Red is red, yellow is yellow. So, well, it is. If you study on it, you'll see how much red is connected to yellow, and how much yellow, of course, connected to red. That's how I say. Paimon says, fools don't seek, fools know. Because when you reach that plateau, you know. And once you reach the down plateau, it's almost to say, well, even those moments, the liberation comes. No, I am not alone. Even that room when I'm closed eyes and dark room, in my mind's eye, I know I'm not alone. How can I be alone when I'm with myself? And one can go beyond that. And that's, I think, one of the most beautiful things that I love about Paimon. It is hard to describe the feelings that I have in my heart when I talk about him, or how it made me feel, or the things that I have seen, how beautiful. Of course, I will never forget. Almost even now when I talk, I see them in my mind's eye very strongly. And he showed me different things, as I said, different visions that I've spoken in these recordings, that appear in the book as well. At the same time, there were some visions after, which I had too, that came after I finished the book, and they were very, very, almost called a metaphysical, high type of knowledge. So I don't know, maybe I'm going to write another book about Paimon. Who knows? It doesn't have to be. But almost those visions were extremely, almost call them cryptic. I'm still the first vision as I had, I always said, well, I don't want to know the meaning of it, and it did require some type of courage, and I think it's almost like a travel that I still have to take. The second vision, it was just a beautiful vision that I enjoyed as pure as a child can do, and he showed me something, and I just stood in silence, and I didn't even think about Paimon that moment. I just saw the vision, saw the thing that I have seen. It was so beautiful that I just kept it as it is. I didn't want to transform it in anything else, and I'm sure in my future, in my life, I'm going to have other visions from Paimon, and I'm going to be able to say, well, Paimon gives you a horse, and it's your decision if you're going to jump on it, and going to go far on the journey, or you're going to just take the vision, enjoy it for what it is, knowing that it is a gift, it is a present, to be able to see beyond the veil, to be able to believe in things that many say are not real. I think it's a good exercise, no matter how you put it, people to free themselves from necessarily the concrete type of way of living or seeing things or believing. Someone say, well, it is not scientifically proven. One can discuss very much about it, and if I will have a discussion with anyone, you can bet on me that I'm going to win that argument. And even if say, well, at this time 2025 is not proven, let's talk in 1,000 years and let's see then, okay? Let's go back 10,000 years BC, and let's see there what happened, Just to say, well, time, it is important from which time or from which perspective we talk about the things, At the same time, Paimon teaches power, how to believe in oneself. Don't be foolish, Say, well, many things can tell many things about Paimon, and there were many things false they told or talked about Paimon. Many said things they didn't know, So say, well, they didn't know better, And it is quite funny, to be honest, because there's a beautiful recollection in the book as well, about the past of Paimon, of who he is. That's why I have written this book, to have a more clear and more honest and more true representation of Paimon, as I have seen him, as he has shown himself to me. As I've said, it is not necessarily a fictional work. For me, Paimon is real. This book is real, of course, and it has different meanings for those who seek knowledge beyond, and for those who have esoteric knowledge, or it's not necessarily even the name as I call it, the ones who speak my language, let's call it them, the one who speak, say, well, maybe I can speak the language of the snake. Those are the ones who will understand me, Those are my words will resonate with, or Paimon's words will resonate. Those who are not afraid to change their skin, shed their skin. I'm born, each day I'm renewed, and each day I'm more who I'm supposed to be. No, that's like a healthy way to see at things. And knowledge is knowledge. The seeking of knowledge is important. No, and those foolish who try to stop and say no, it's not. Well, move on. Move away from my path, because this is my path and I am not walking, I'm riding. Okay, so there's many things that Paimon can teach one. Absolutely. Thank you so much. I'm going to leave this recording here. It's almost 40 minutes. As I said, it felt like 10 minutes, and hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to continue to talk in other recordings, as I've said, the way I want, about book, about Paimon in general, or about the book, or anything that is on my heart. It's always a pleasure. Thank you so much. All the best. Until next time. Bye.